Dear students, good afternoon in this session for exam. It's an exam session. Before we start, allow me to introduce my colleagues in the studio. Miss Abir Al-Hassan from Damascus Countryside Directorate English teacher, and Miss Huda Al-Ibrahim, teacher from Damascus Directorate. And from the left side, my colleague supervisor of English, Miss Faizi Janko, and Miss Hanadi Salha, English teacher in Damascus Countryside Directorate. I hope you get benefit from this session because tomorrow is your English exam. We are here today to facilitate the exam paper to you so that you be able to answer the questions of the exam. Before we start, I'm going to let Ms. Faizi tell you about the exam book. You're going to receive an exam book in the exam with numbers. Ms. Faizi, will you please tell the students about what they are going to see before they start, please?
First of all, I'd like to advise students to feel relaxed, Eat well, sleep well, study well, and English is comprehension rather than grammar. So please be comfortable, and inshallah tomorrow the questions will be as easy as possible. You are going to have an exam book. It is numbered 1, 2, 3, etc. And you are going to write the answers according to numbers. And if you forget any answer, don't be afraid, because you are going to write a hint or a note that answer number for question number 2 or question number 3, it is on page so and so. So please pay attention to the numbers and feel relaxed, please, my dear students.
And if a student made a mistake and needed to rewrite the question?
Yeah, he can rewrite it and he can put a hint if there is no space.
He can put it in another place and write a hint that it is in page 4, page 3, etc. Yes. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
So, now Ms. Huda is going to start with the first text. As you know, in the exam paper, on the screen, students can see an exam paper. This exam was done before.
And then do the task.
We advise the students before they read the text to have a look at the questions so that they know what they are going to do before they read.
Exactly.
And Ms. Huda, consider you are a student and you're going to read the first text, please.
Okay. I will never forget the first day of my holiday last year. It was the worst day too. First, I overslept. I didn't hear my alarm clock, so I was late for the bus and my football match. Then I dressed quickly and ran down the street to the sports center. I was running so fast, I tripped and fell. Next, I was lying on the ground in pain. After that, I don't remember much about what happened, but I ended up in hospital somehow with a broken leg. But that wasn't all. My team finally played the match without me and lost. And the very worst thing was I spent my holiday indoors instead of having fun with my friends outside.
Good. So, did he participate in the game? Did he play?
No, sorry.
He didn't play.
No.
And he mentioned something about indoors. It
Indoors,
means
at home. Stay
at home, in hospital, not outside.
Yes.
Good. Now, I'm going to move the screen so that we read the questions. First question, Ms. Hanadi Salha is going to read the question. The rubric is choose the right answer, A, B, or C. To complete the following 3 marks are allotted. Ms. Hanadi, read the first one, please.
Yes. I'll always the first day of my holiday last year. We have 3 choices here. Remember, forget, or fail to remember.
So, from the text, we
Yes.
can see, let me just take, as a student, he needs to go up again to the
Yes,
Yes.
and
text,
try to find
Yes.
and
Find the answer.
he
The
can
answer.
find, I will never
Forget.
The
forget,
opposite,
which
yes.
means
I will
I
always
will always remember.
remember.
The same thing, yes.
So the first choice
Remember.
is remember.
Yes.
Miss Abir,
Yeah.
please read second question.
Yeah, I felt upset because my team, the match. Here we have the choices. They are one, didn't win and didn't lose. No, the correct answer is didn't win because they lost the match.
Yes, they didn't win.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Miss Faizi,
Okay.
number 3.
I didn't enjoy my holiday at all because I was injured in the match, spent the holiday at home, or didn't sleep well.
Did he play the match?
No.
No,
No.
he didn't play the match, and he spent the holiday at home. It means indoors.
Indoors.
This is what we meant. Well,
So,
then we move to the following question. Miss Huda, read the
Yes.
rubric, please.
Choose two of the underlined words in the text to suit their definitions below.
So, in this question,
They have
the
to choose.
student needs to know vocabulary.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We have the meaning, and he needs to find the word in the text.
Which underline?
It's
Underlined
similar to
words.
match.
Yes.
Similar to match.
Yes, similar to the underlined words. We have
Yes.
3 underlined words.
Yes.
An
2
extra one.
are needed,
Needed,
and we have
one.
an extra one.
Yes.
So from the underlined words, we have a
Yes,
group
the
of
word.
people working or playing together, which is
Team.
team.
Yeah.
So the first word is team. We have 20 marks allotted for this exercise. Miss Hana, you read number 5.
Put clothes on somebody or oneself. It means dress.
Dress. So to put clothes means to
To
dress.
dress.
Yes.
Now, Miss Frize is going to read the following text. Happiness.
okay. Happiness is good for your health. Experiments prove that it gives you a strong immune system and you recover from surgery more quickly. The main sources of happiness are family, friends, enough money, work, social life, faith, and health.
So here the student needs to put in mind that we have source of happiness and we have the main sources of happiness that are family, friends, enough money, work, social life, faith, and health. Then continue, Ms. Faiz.
Now, married people are happier than single people, and the happiest people spend the least time alone and don't care about buying possessions.
Good. So here we have married people are happier than single people. We need to put this in mind again as students.
Yeah.
Married people are happier. And the happiest people spend the least time alone. It means they socialize. Yes, continue, please.
Being happy is good for you and society. Research has shown that if we feel happy, we also become more sociable.
So when someone is happy, becomes more sociable.
Keen to help others, and physically healthy. Then we can contribute more to the community.
So happy people like helping others, not sad people.
Not sad people.
Well, let's move to the questions.
True or false?
In the second part, we have true or false.
Yes.
We read as students the questions, then we put on the exam book true or false. So the student can write true, false, or just T.
Letter T or F.
Tick
Yeah.
and cross for the false one. Miss Hanadi, number 6.
Sad people are keen to help others. It's false.
We talked about this. We said here
Happy people are keen to help
are
others.
keen. So this is
False.
Number 7.
Yeah.
Miss Sabir.
Yeah, very happy people spend a long time alone. No, because happy people spend a long time with each other or with other people. They socialize.
Here,
It is false.
The happiest people spend the least time.
Yeah.
So when people are happy,
This is
they
false.
socialize. So the second one, number 7, is false as well. We have 2 false sentences. And Ms.
Number
Huda,
8, yes.
8.
Single people are less happy than married people. This is true.
This is true.
Married people are happy. So single people
Are happier.
less.
Yeah.
Yes.
So students need to know this.
Yes.
Not only to see happy.
It means
think that it is
We
correct.
have
Really
less.
they have just
less.
Less happy, and in that text it is mentioned
Happiest.
that married people
Yeah.
are happier than
single.
Single.
people.
Yeah.
And here single people are
Less happy.
happy.
Yes.
So,
So
it
this
is
is
Same meaning.
true.
It is true. Yes. Then the following question, Ms. Faizi, read the rubric number 9, please.
Now answer the following questions. Number 9, write 3 sources of happiness. Only they want 3 sources.
And we gave a hint while reading the text
No.
about the sources.
And it is written in line number 4 or the 4th line.
Yes.
The 4th line. The main sources of happiness are we have family, friends, enough money, work, social life, faith, and health. So the student is going to write only 3 sources.
3 are
even
required.
if he write the whole sources are correct.
Yes. So it's enough to write 3.
3, yeah.
What if the student writes all?
Okay,
It's okay.
It's okay.
It is okay.
But the question says
To mention 3.
mention 3. Yes. But if the student writes everything, it's okay. Miss Huda,
Yes.
number 10.
Yeah. What do experiments prove about happiness? Really, the answer is in line, the first line of the text. Happiness is good for your health. Experiments prove that it gives you a strong immune system and you recover from surgery more quickly.
And the immune system is how to resist illness
Exactly.
and
Yes.
keep strong, keep
Don't-
fit. Good. Like this, we finished the first page of the exam paper. The second page, actually, the first page was about vocabulary and comprehension. If the student understood the meaning of the words, he would be able to answer.
Them.
Second page, it is more complicated than the first one because here we need to know about grammar as well as vocabulary. The rubric, Ms. Faizi, read it please.
Read the following sentences and choose the correct answer.
So we have 2 words between brackets and the students need
To
the
choose the
student
correct
needs
one.
to choose one and to write it next to number 11 in the note,
Book.
in the example. Miss Huda, read
Yes.
number 11.
We met our old friends in the party. Really, here students should know that our is a possessive adjective, and the possessive adjectives are followed by a noun.
Thank
so
you.
they should choose our because
So-
we have the noun old friends.
We have our possessive adjective and ours possessive pronoun.
Pronoun.
The possessive adjective our is usually followed with a noun,
With a noun, yeah.
while ours is a possessive pronoun and it is not followed with a noun.
Yeah.
And here we have old friends. It's not ours, it's our. Thank you so much. Miss Hanadi, number 12.
You're the new neighbor. Are you or aren't you? Here we have a question tag.
Yeah, can we explain a little about question tag?
Yes. The first part, you're the new neighbor, it's positive question. So we need a negative tag. So we choose here, aren't you?
Yes. So the question tag is contrary the real question. If it is positive, the question tag is going to be negative, and if the sentence is negative, the question tag is
positive.
and we usually use the same auxiliary in the sentence.
Yes.
If we don't have auxiliary like simple present and simple
We use
past,
do, does with the present
You
simple
does.
and did with past.
yes. And in this sentence,
We
you
have the
are, so we
Yes.
have are,
Yeah.
Yes.
you
Verb.
are the new neighbor,
So the
aren't
tag-
you.
Are.
We have are you and we have aren't you. The student needs to know that he should use the negative because the sentence is.
And if it is negative here, we should use are you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Miss Faizi, number 14.
Now the people had put the fire out
13, sorry.
13.
by the time or because the firemen came. And here we have past perfect had put and we use by the time with the past perfect.
Yes. So we can explain a little about because and by the time. Usually, when we teach the students, we tell them that in plus time is simple past.
Yes.
By plus time, it is past
Past
perfect.
perfect.
This is one thing.
Yes.
Yes.
And because is used to show cause and result.
Result.
And here, it is not cause and result.
Yeah.
It is past perfect with by the time the fireman came. So the correct answer is by the time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Miss Abir, number
Okay.
14.
Now the children became scared or tired when they heard thunder. Now here we have to choose the correct answer according to the meaning.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here it depends
on meaning.
the meaning.
Here we
and
have the sound of
students-
the thunder,
Yes.
so we have to choose scared.
Mhm. Usually, the person when he
Yeah.
hears the
The
sound
thunder,
of
he
the
feels
thunder,
scared.
feels afraid.
Yeah.
Yes.
And afraid is scared,
Yes.
not
Yes.
tired.
Yeah.
Tired
Yeah.
when he is running or playing.
After
or
work, maybe.
So from the meaning, the correct
Yeah.
answer is
Scared.
scared.
Yes.
And the student takes the word scared to put it next to number
Yeah.
14 in the exam book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Miss Hanadi,
Yes.
the rubric of D.
D. Choose the correct answer, A, B, or C, to complete the following dialogue. It is allotted 40 marks.
Yes, so we have 40 marks for this question. We have to choose, thank you so much. We have to choose between three choices. This is
Yes.
multiple choice question. We have three choices the student is going to choose. Huda, since
Yes.
it's your name,
Yeah.
Yeah.
number 15,
Number 15. Okay.
read it and
yeah.
tell us
Why?
what you
What to
advise
choose
the
and why?
student.
Yes.
You ready to set off? Do A, do, B, can, C, are. Really here do and can are always followed by an infinitive.
Thank you.
So
Yes.
the right answer is only C. Are
And
you ready to set
Ready
off?
is an adjective,
An adjective. Are you
and
happy?
do
Are you
and
sad?
can
Yes.
usually are followed with infinitive, so
Exactly.
it's not
So
accepted.
yes.
Or thank you so much, Miss Abir.
Yeah.
Sami?
Oh yes, I've read everything. Here we have a trip.
Mhm.
The preposition here too, at and for. The suitable one is for the trip.
Yes, and prepositions usually we don't have a rule
Yeah.
how to use the
Yeah.
preposition.
They are used.
It's memorization.
By
So we
memorization.
advise the students from now till tomorrow, while they are reading in their books, when they meet a preposition, to repeat the word that came with the preposition many times.
And there are phrasal verbs.
Yes.
You should keep memorizing them because they will learn them by heart.
Actually, my advice, Ms. Huda, thank you. My advice is memorizing may be difficult, but if I repeat as a student, for example, the word famous.
Yes.
I say famous for 10 times.
Yes.
When I come to the exam,
It will be familiar
immediately
for them.
when I say famous,
Yes.
it will pop the word for, and here the preposition used is for.
For.
Thank you. Miss Faizi, number
Now,
17.
What about food and drink?
Mhm.
What about the food or food or a food and a drink?
Mhm.
I think it is the because it is something special for the trip.
Yes. Here, let's explain, please,
Okay.
the and I in brief. We're going in the remaining time to explain the grammar, but to give a hint to the student, please.
Now, the when something is mentioned or something is special.
Special,
Something-
known by the listener
okay,
and the
by
speaker.
okay. And an is used for countable nouns, okay, when it is preceded or it begins with vowels.
A vowel,
okay,
yes.
And the same with singular, countable nouns, and it begins with the other letters,
Yes.
except vowels.
So we use a and an with singular, countable,
No.
indefinite
Yes.
nouns when they are mentioned for the first time, and we have more than them. Food and drink here are
Uncountable.
not countable
Yes.
nouns,
Uncountable.
and we are not talking in general.
In general,
Yes.
We are specifying the food and drink for the trip.
Yes.
So the choice is
That.
the.
The.
What about the food and drink? Miss Hanadi, number 18.
Yes. Everything is ready, and I packed the spare wheel too. We have three choices: will, have, and. Here we have verb 3, packed. So we choose have. Here we have present perfect.
Yes.
So the other choices are wrong.
Yes.
We can't use am.
Actually, if I say I am packed,
Yes.
it will be passive
Passive,
voice
yes.
for that I am packed,
person,
I am
yes.
wrapped in
Yeah.
something,
Yes.
inside something.
Yeah,
So
it won't
of
be
course,
correct.
from the
And-
meaning, it's not
And will is
correct.
followed by base form.
And
We
will,
have here
yes, is
verb
for
three.
yes. So the choice is
Yes,
have.
have.
This is present
Yeah,
perfect.
perfect.
Present perfect.
Yes.
Miss Abir,
Yeah, even
exercise
now
A.
here exercise you write the missing word in each space. Here the students have to write the missing word. That's the most suitable word for these sentences.
Yes.
Now the first one, number 19, Ibn Battuta, best known as a famous traveler. Here we have Ibn Battuta who died a long time ago,
Yes.
and so we have here the verb known, which is verb 3 from the verb know. So we have to put here the verb to be in the past, which is was known.
Yes. Some may say that Ibn Battuta is known now, and we can write is because it is a fact. We're not going to discuss it, but for the students to keep on the safe side, since
To write
dead people don't have connection with the present, and they died in the past, they were known. So Ibn Battuta was known. Thank you. Miss Huda, please.
There isn't water in this well. Really, we have many choices here because of the negative isn't.
Yes.
We can say any. There isn't any water in this well. There isn't enough water in this well. There isn't much water in this well.
Yes.
So there are options here.
Yes.
So much is correct.
Yeah.
Any is correct. Of
And
course,
enough.
the best answer we say when we have isn't,
Yes.
we use any.
Any.
Okay.
Yes.
But if the student writes
Yes.
much or
Enough.
enough, it is accepted.
And water is uncountable now.
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
Yes.
Water is uncountable now. Miss Hanadi,
Yes.
number 21.
The ancient pyramids were built a long time. Here we have something happened in the past, so we use ago.
Because where denotes the past.
Yes.
And the pyramids, as we know that they were built in the past.
Yes.
And when we teach the students about the simple past, we say that we use the word ago
To refer to the
at
past.
the end of the sentence.
Yes.
And here the word is ago.
Ago.
Miss Faizi, exercise 5.
Okay, now complete each item in column A with the correct choice from column B. Here we have A and B. And for example, we have number 22 is going to be related or match with the, for example, D. I'd like to have I have a note here.
Yes, please.
The student can write either the letter, okay,
Yes,
or
thank
the
you.
whole clause.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So students may feel afraid.
Yes.
Oh my God, I wrote only the letter. Are they going to correct it?
Yes.
Okay. They can write either the letter or the corresponding
Sentence. Or both.
Or both. Yeah.
Or both. It's okay. So the student is free to choose either the letter or the sentence or both.
Yes.
Now here,
Sorry,
yes,
want to
please.
interrupt. For example, he might write B and write the sentence that is in number C. So he should be careful. B, he should write the sentence that it's B, not C or D.
In the exam, of course, in this case, the corrector is going to consider the first, which is the letter. But we advise, thank you very much for this advice, we advise the students to know exactly what they are writing, because some students think that they are smart enough, so they are not sure which one, is it C or D, so they write C and write the sentence of D. No, the corrector is going to choose the first one.
And this question is dependent on the meaning.
The meaning. Here it's a comprehension question. If the student knows the meaning of the words, he can match between them. If he doesn't know, of course, he will not be able. But we hope all our students will be able to do it. We reached exercise number 22. Please.
Good reporters work hard to write.
So reporters
now, they
here.
are going reporters, and we have write. Okay.
Yes.
What can the student do in this case? Is going to look for a word that connected
At the
to
beginning.
word,
Yes.
to write, or reporters, or etc.
He can
Okay?
read the four endings.
Yeah, he can
Yes.
read.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Of
let's
course,
try.
He will read.
Yeah, let's try them.
He must
Please,
read.
Ms. Faizi,
Yes.
try
Yes.
them.
Now, that sells traditional silk dresses.
So to write that cells,
No.
No.
Doesn't really.
We
Too
could
bright.
set fire
Of course,
to write
No.
we could sit
No.
fair, of course not.
in the park.
no.
To write in the park, maybe it's
Maybe.
accepted, we
Yeah.
don't know, but
Work
let's
hard
read.
to write in the park.
But
Look,
we have
we
here
are going to
reporters.
look for
Yeah.
another one.
Yes.
Interesting stories.
Yes.
Now, reporters
Yeah.
are writing interesting
Yes.
stories,
So stories
and they work hard
Yes.
to write interesting stories.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the student can write either D or D and interesting stories or interesting stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Miss Hanadi,
Yes.
number 23.
There is a famous street in Tokyo. We know that in Tokyo there are many shops.
Mhm.
It is in our book. So students know that there is many shops here. So they have to choose the sentence that refer to this thing. Here we have that sells traditional silk dresses. Maybe they know the meaning of dresses. Dresses
Yes.
concerning this meaning, so they choose A.
Mhm.
It is a suitable one.
Let's try the other ones. Maybe
We
one
could set
can
a fire. No relation.
Of course,
In
yes.
the park. No.
Mhm.
Interesting story. We chose it
We
before.
chose it?
Yes. It's empty.
Yeah.
No.
So the correct answer is
Yes.
that sells
Yes.
traditional silk dresses.
Yes.
Now here the choices are less for the student,
Yes.
so
Yes.
it's easier.
Yes.
We could set fire
Yes.
in the park, and
It's empty.
it
We
is
have
empty. Of
this,
course, we have one extra.
Extra one.
Yes.
We have one extra. Number 24, Miss Huda.
Yes. If we had some matches, really, before I answer, it's first conditional. If
Second.
we second conditional,
Second
sorry.
conditional.
So the answer should contain would or could. So
Yes.
the answer is B, without reading the complete sentence. If we had some matches, we could set a fire or
Yes.
set
Yes,
fire.
and from the meaning of
Yes.
matches,
Yeah.
Meaning of
Yes.
it's
grammar
very
here.
clear
Fire.
that
Yes.
fire.
Now,
So
Okay.
I think student is not going to play around grammar here.
Yes.
It's
They're
going
going
to
to
choose
find
match
it.
and
It has
fire.
some,
Okay? Match
matches
and
and
fire.
But
fire.
if, yeah,
Yes.
if
Yeah,
helps them.
if.
Yeah.
Yes,
This
so
is
we're giving them all the help they may
Yes.
need
Yes.
in the
Okay.
exam. Thank you. Number 25, Miss
Yes.
Abir.
Yeah. And now the air is fresh and clean, and we still have two choices only here in the park, and it's empty.
Mhm.
So it's in the park.
Yeah, because it is empty, fresh,
Yeah.
clean,
Yes.
it's
Doesn't,
empty, it
yes.
doesn't
It's not
respond.
related to
So
air.
it is in the park,
Yeah.
the air is fresh and clean in the park.
Yes.
This we finished exercise F.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is allotted 40 marks. We have
10
4,
for
everyone 10 marks.
Yes.
We move to the second part of the second page of the exam paper. Miss Faizi, please.
Okay. Now here we have a grammar.
Grammar.
Okay.
Yes.
Choose the correct tense between brackets.
It's about tenses.
Yeah,
Yes.
tenses. Number 26.
How many marks are allotted
They
for
are,
this?
it is allotted 50 marks,
50
and
marks.
each exercise is allotted 10 marks.
Yes, we have
Okay.
5, each
Yeah.
10.
Now 26. The doctor told me. Told me.
Is it past or present?
Told me. So it is
Past.
past. So I got or I've got better after the surgery. So
Mhm.
here we are going to choose the past tense.
Yes.
So the doctor told me I got.
Yes.
Because told me is past
Yeah.
and have got is present perfect.
Yeah, and this is
We-
reported.
Yes.
Yes,
Speech.
got. Thank you.
Yes.
27, Miss Hanadi.
They are upset because they have been waiting or waited in the airport all the morning.
Yes. So what is the hint here for the students?
All the morning.
All the morning,
Yes.
which shows
Yes.
duration
Yes.
of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are going to look for something that shows duration.
Yes.
We have waited
Or
in the
have.
simple past, finished,
Yes.
and have been waiting.
Yes. And here we have a result.
Result.
Result
Yes.
of something. We have here something which is in progress and finished, and the result of it is that you are absent.
Upset. Thank you very much. Yes, so the correct answer is
Have been waiting.
have been waiting. Here, the student needs to write the answer next to number 27
Seven.
in the exam book.
Yes.
have been waiting.
Yes.
Yes. Miss Huda?
Yes, 28. I will visit or visited you if I have enough time.
Yes.
This is first conditional.
First
We have
conditional.
if I have. So the answer is I will visit you if I have enough time.
Yes, because when we teach the students about conditional sentences, we tell them that if plus present simple, in the result
Will.
clause it is will. So
And
the
then
correct answer is will visit. Miss Abir, please.
Yeah. Now here number 29. Yesterday the storm would break or broke many trees. Here we have the indicators is yesterday. So we have to choose the past simple broke.
Yes.
It's better to use broke. Many trees.
Yeah, okay. Although sometimes someone may say would break is accepted, but here the choice is broke.
Broke.
Thank you. Miss Faizi, read number 30,
Yeah,
please.
we were playing, or we have played football when it started to rain. Here we have in the second part of this sentence started. It is in the simple past, and we are going to choose the same tense.
Yes, in the past.
So in the past, we were playing when it started to
because
rain.
have played is present simple.
Perfect.
Another action
Yeah.
interrupted it.
Yes.
Yes, so it is
We're playing.
were playing. Have played is wrong.
Yeah.
Well, we move to the following exercise, which is letter H. Miss Faizi, please read it until I move the screen up a little, please. Thank you.
Now the students here.
Here we have a dialogue.
Dialogue, and they are going to form questions.
Yes.
To write
Forming
questions.
question is very important.
Yeah.
Let's help the students how to make questions, not only to answer. We're going to help them how to form a question according to every sentence. Yes, please.
Here we have a dialogue between Ahmad and Ali.
And Ali, yes.
Ali said, I want to go to the old city in Damascus.
What tense is it?
Now it is present.
It's present.
It is present.
I want to go.
And here we don't have an auxiliary verb that is going to help us while asking. So we are going to depend on do, does.
Yes. In the present simple, we use do and does to ask questions.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let us decide which part of the sentence we are going to ask about. Okay? Or first, let us do it as yes/no question.
Yes, exactly.
Let us do it as yes/no question.
So it's easier first to change it to a question yes/no, then we choose what we are going to ask.
So we are going to use do or does.
Okay.
Since the subject is I, we are going to use do.
Yes.
And we are going to change I into you.
Yes. So usually when the pronoun is I, the addressee is you.
You, yeah.
So
do you want to go to the old city in Damascus?
Thank you. This is a question.
This is yes/no question.
Yes.
Okay. Since we are going to have comprehension and WH question, we are going to ask about the old city. The old city, and this is a place.
Yes.
We are going to delete or omit the old city, and instead we put where.
Yes,
okay.
To ask about a place, we use where.
Now we have do you want? Where do you want to go? In Damascus.
In Damascus. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So the student can first change the sentence into a question. Do you want to go to the old city in Damascus? And then he omits the old city and he puts where at the beginning. Where do you want to go in Damascus? Thank you. Miss Huda?
Yes, number 32. Ali.
Can I ask one question?
Yes, please.
31.
31.
This is the only answer that can the student
You mean to ask about Damascus?
maybe or another question.
About
can the student can ask here
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
What Ahmed, what Ali or Ahmed or Ali, what Ahmed want? Did he want
or what does he want
to do? Only does he want? And
what does he want
to do?
The answer will be he want to go to the old.
Yeah, Mr. Ahmed,
It's
here we have a
dialogue.
We have it's not just a question.
Yes,
if
me
it
and
is
you.
a one question, it's okay. You can choose whatever you like. Here we have a dialogue. So we need, before we change as students, to read the dialogue as a whole. The second one, I'm going to go with my friends. So we need to choose. If it is what does Ahmed want to do, you say I want to go. The answer is not corresponding because the sentence starts with I want.
Yes.
And usually when I say what is your name, you'll answer but my name. Not what do you want or say. You are very correct.
What do you want? If Ahmed
so the student
what do you want?
Yes, the student what do you want to do?
What do you want to do?
What do you want to do? I want to go. Yeah, it is okay.
It's okay.
It's accepted. It's accepted.
My point.
Yes, your point is exactly correct, but we advise the students to keep on the safe side because after they finish the exam, we have to discuss the grading scale. The grading scale is put after the exam. And the first answer accepted is going to be the best. Maybe other questions may be accepted, maybe not. We're not sure. And to help the student keep on the safe side, we're here to advise him to choose the best. Yes, sometimes while discussing the exam, the grading scale, we accept all the correct choices. You're very right, very correct. Thank you for arousing this point. But in this, it's correct. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? I want to go to the old city in Damascus. It's correct and it's accepted. But according to what we teach our students, we say, look at the dialogue. And since it is not mentioned which part we want to ask, all questions will be accepted. You're right. But for us as students, the best here we have old city in Damascus. We change the same words. If the student is smart enough to invent a question accepted, it's good. But we're here to deal with all levels, weak ones and strong ones, and we go in the middle. So in the middle, we have old city in Damascus. The best question for this is, what do you want to visit in Damascus, or where do you want to go?
Yes.
Where do you want to go in Damascus? Thank you, Mr. Ahmed.
There is an flexibility when we correct this.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah,
of course.
flexibility
When
is
we
there.
have a lot of people, not just one or two. Sometimes we have 40 people to discuss all the possibilities. So we sit and discuss all the possibilities of this, all the options.
Has to be clear for our students.
Yeah. But here we're not going to complicate it for the students. Now we can help them later after they finish the exam, and some student may say, I wrote this. We can tell him, yeah, it will be accepted. But we're here to give them the best choice. And the best choice in this exercise, in this question is,
Where do you want
where
to go?
do you want to go in Damascus? Thank you.
Thank you for
Yes, Mr.
Number
Iqbal, please.
32, Ali, I'm going with my friends. The answer is my friends that we want to ask about. So we will make it yes/no questions at the same. So the question must be, are you going with your friends? We omit your friends and we use the pronoun who. Who are you going with?
Yes. And here, Mr. Ahmed reminded me with something. What we need in this exercise is WH question.
Yes.
WH question. If the student just writes, are you going to go with your friends? It's not going to be accepted in the exam. Sometimes, if he writes two choices, are you going to go with your friends or with your families? It may be accepted, but we don't advise the student to write it this way. WH question is needed in this exercise. Thank you. Ms. Abir.
Now we'll visit Al Nofara Cafe. So here we have will, so the auxiliary is will, and we can we should put it you. Then we can put will before you. Will you visit Al Nofara Cafe?
Yes, we form the question by inverting.
By inverting this as a yes or no question. Then we omit Al Nofara Cafe and we put what?
Yes.
What will you visit?
And here someone may say it's a place.
Yes.
So what
but here
if
we have
the
a verb,
student wrote,
visit.
where will you visit? Actually, he will lose some marks for the wrong
Not
question
completely
word.
correct.
Here, it's not a place to go.
Yes.
It's something. We are asking about something, not a place.
Yeah.
Asking about something he is going to visit. So it is,
What?
no, for what?
What?
Will you visit?
Yeah.
Thank you. 30 marks are allotted for this exercise, 10 marks
For
each. Then Miss Hanadi,
Yes.
write
Write the answers.
the answers.
Yes. Here we have a question.
Mhm.
What's your hobby? Students here are free. What do you want to write? First of all, they have to make inversion between the noun and the verb to be is.
Mhm.
We change your into my. So my hobby is. Here we are free. What we want to complete the sentence. Maybe my hobby is playing football, playing tennis, playing the piano, etc.
Yes, and we advise the student to write a full answer,
Yes.
not just a word. For example, some student may write football.
Yes.
No, the student needs
Will it be
to write.
accepted?
It will be accepted, but not full mark.
Not full
Yes.
mark. Okay.
Not full mark. The student needs to write a clause, subject and verb, or he can say, my hobby is.
Yes.
Then he can write football.
Yes.
So football alone is not full answer. Miss Abir, Fatin.
Why do you like it? Here we have to answer in a reason. And why do you like it? So we have to mention the reason of why I like it because must
Actually,
be mentioned.
why
here.
and because are
Because,
going together always.
And he can write the reason that he wants.
Yes.
Because should
so
be
any
put
reason,
here.
but he
any
needs
reason.
to start with because and a
I
clause.
like it because.
Because
the
it
full
is
answer, I like
nice,
it.
because it is lovely, because anything, not just one word. For example, a student like
Any
that.
logical one will be accepted.
And it should be logical because he cannot, the student, he or she cannot say because I like it. Why do you like it? Because I like it. This is called the cliche answer. Cliche answers are not accepted. Thank you. The last question, 50 marks for this question, is about composition. Are we going to see one or two compositions and to choose one of them?
No, the student is going to choose one of two topics.
Only one.
Okay?
So we have
and two topics. So it is easier for the student. He's not going to be restricted to one topic. Okay? And he is going to write about 50 words. He's going to write about 50 words about one of the following topics.
And one is capitalized to tell the student we don't want to
write both.
We don't want to. Some students write two compositions because they think that they need to write about the two compositions. Only one.
The first.
They are going to correct the first.
The first one.
The first one, and the second is not going to be corrected. So in this exercise, we have described 5 qualities you think are important in a good friend. The second topic is your advice about how to prepare for exams. We are not going to write a composition now. We're going to advise the students how to write. So, the composition, please, Ms. Faizi.
Here we have 50 marks.
50 marks, yes.
Are distributed on 5 categories.
Thank you.
We have task response.
Task response.
We have communication. We have vocabulary, grammar, spelling, and punctuation.
Yes.
So the student have to pay attention to these 5 categories. Okay. Now, if the students write more than 50 words, it's okay.
Yes.
But if the student writes from 40 to 50 words, it is good.
Yes.
Okay. But less than 40 words, the distribution of marks is going to be different. Okay. There is going to be a deduction of marks.
Yes.
Okay.
So we advise the student to count
words
until he reaches 50.
Yes.
And then he can stop or add a word or 2 words. It's okay, but not less than 50. This is the safe
40
side.
40 to 50.
40 to 50 is okay, but the safe side is 50. 49 is okay. Now, as Ms. Faiza says, If the student writes something corresponding to the task, he gets 10 marks,
10 marks.
out of 50. So the first 10 marks are with us as students. Second, we have vocabulary.
Yes.
Did the student choose the exact vocabulary? For example, we drink water in a glass, not in a bag. Although bag is not wrong, we have bag in English, but we don't use it for
It's not
water.
related for the subject.
So this is what we mean by vocabulary.
Yes.
Vocabulary means to choose a word that it is okay with the subject you're writing. Yes, so for the vocabulary, if the words are chosen correctly, we have another 10 marks. Now the student got 20 out of 50.
Yes.
Then we come to grammar. The student needs to write simple sentences, especially in grade 9, not to make them too complicated, or else he would lose some marks. So to be simple is advisable, simple sentences, and to check. To check the grammar mistakes, because he will lose marks for grammar mistakes. And
We have spelling and punctuation.
Spelling means to write, the student needs to write words that he is sure that they are correct.
Simplest words are.
Yes, the student can change the words so that he finds a word that he can write and gives the meaning so that he doesn't lose marks for spelling. And punctuation is very important. The student needs to write a full stop at the end of a sentence.
Capital letter.
And capital letter.
Yes.
Now, can we tell the students about when to write capital letters?
With names.
Names, proper names, and names of
countries,
countries.
After the full stop or the beginning
After
of the
full
sentence.
stops, after exclamation marks,
Yes.
after question marks.
With countries. Countries and
Names.
Names
Yeah.
of countries.
Names of
Adjectives derived from names, like
Yeah.
English from England.
Syrians, nationalities.
Nationalities. Yes. Now, the names of the seasons are capitalized?
No,
Not necessarily.
No.
Not necessarily, but days of the week
Yes.
Yes.
are capitalized.
Yes, I
So we need to write the days of the week in capital letter. What else do we have to tell them? If we summarize, after full stop, after exclamation mark, after question mark, names in general, maybe country names, maybe proper names, and adjectives derived from names, names of the days of the week, Monday, Friday,
Months.
Month, yes.
months, not necessarily.
But usually we write.
Yes, they are capitalized. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, months of the year
Yes.
are capitalized. Months of the year. I was thinking seasons is
No.
optional.
No,
Can be
summer. You can
capital.
write it with this
Okay,
one.
this is what I was thinking
Yeah.
about.
Yes.
So the seasons can be capitalized or not capitalized, but the months
And
should
days.
be capital. Months and days are capital. Names are capital. To start a new sentence is going to be capital letter. Like this, we finished about the exam paper. We're going to move to the grammar for grade. Now,
One advice, Mr. Majid,
yes, please.
just for the examination
Yes, please. Please.
book,
Mhm.
please, my dear students, make sure that you won't miss any question without being answered.
Mhm.
Okay? And read your composition at the end of the exam. Try to read and to check your grammar, your spelling, your structures, the task response. Okay, and make sure that your paper is full of answers, and hope they will be correct ones. So don't miss any questions without being answered.
Yes. This is one advice. I have another advice. Students should not read the last exercise before they do the first, except if they didn't know how to answer. So they start from the first question. If they are able to answer, don't read the following until you finish. If they don't know the answer to the first one, they can move to the following one. But some students sometimes try to look at all
Yes.
questions
This
so
will
that
confuse
they
them.
make
Composition.
this will
Especially-
confuse
Yeah,
them.
especially the composition.
Yes.
Yes,
First of all,
yes. But this is not okay. So for the students, don't be confused. Start a question by a
By
question.
question.
And when you finish, as Ms. Faiza says, make sure that you answered all the questions. Because sometimes when a question is good and he knows the answers, he does the exam in a hurry.
Yes.
Yes.
So he may miss or may
Yes.
skip. So he needs to, he has time, to look at the corresponding letter in the exam book and the question in the exam paper, and to make sure that. Thank you very much for your advice, Ms. Faizi. Any other advice or anything before we move to the grammar? No. Well, now we're going to summarize the grammar of the book. We start with used to and would. Thank you. Miss Huda,
Yes. Used to is used with state and active verbs to talk about a habit was frequent in the past but not anymore.
so the purpose of using used to is instead of saying that it was a habit.
Yes.
So when we use used to, it means it was a habit in the past.
Yes. But
Does the habit still exist now?
No.
No.
Not
In the past, yes.
It is only in the past.
Example, I used to love kittens when I was a child. I used to swim in the river before we moved to Damascus.
Here we have two verbs, love and swim.
Yes.
Is love a state or an active verb?
No.
It is a state.
Yes.
And swim,
Yes.
Active.
an active. So
Yeah.
used to can go with both.
With both
Yes.
of them.
Active and
Both of
state
them.
And
verbs.
state verbs.
Yes.
What about would, Miss
Yes.
Abir?
Yeah, would is used only with active verbs with the same meaning like used to, about habits,
So the same way,
Yeah. but with only active verbs.
Yeah,
We
active
can't
state
we can't
verb.
use them with the state
Thank you.
verbs.
Yes.
So when it is an active verb,
Yeah.
both used to and would are
Are-
accepted.
yeah.
Yes.
But with state verbs,
Only would.
Yes.
Only
would.
used to.
Used to.
Yes,
Only used to.
only used to.
Read the example,
The
please.
example, I would play football with my friends in the park when I was 5 years old. So here we have the verb play, it's an active verb. So would.
Yes. What is the contraction of I would, Miss Faize?
I wouldn't.
I'd.
Contraction, sorry.
contraction,
no,
okay.
negative form.
The contraction of I would is
Okay.
I.
Yeah.
It's not written.
I'd,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now the negative, Miss Hanadi.
The negative of used to is didn't used to. Base form goes with it.
Yes. So it is not
I
this.
just-
Yes, please.
Would is always followed by an infinitive.
Yes.
They might confuse between would and have. Because
Yes.
they have the same
When it is
contraction.
contracted.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
contracted. This is
Yes.
what I
Yes.
mean. Had
Yeah.
must be
Followed
followed
by
by a verb
verb
3.
Yes.
This might confuse students.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So the difference between I'd when it is
Yes.
contracted,
Yes.
if it is followed with verb 3,
Yes.
it is had.
It's
Yes.
had.
Past
If it is
perfect.
followed with the base form,
Yes.
It
It should.
Would.
yes. But here in the used to and would, both are
Followed by
uh,
infinitive.
both are followed with infinitive.
Infinitive.
Yes. Infinitive.
Thank
Yes. Base form.
Now let's move to the following slide. It is the following grammar about could, couldn't, was or were able to. Miss Hanadi,
Yes. We use could and couldn't to talk about general ability or possibility. Example, I could ride a horse. Yes.
I could ride a horse. It's a general
General
ability.
ability.
It's not just one situation.
Yes.
It
Anybody
is a
can do
general,
it.
yes,
Yes.
ability. I could write. I could speak 5 languages.
Yes.
It's okay.
Ability.
Hmm?
We use was able to or were able to for ability in a particular situation. Here we have particular special occasion or special situation where the ability appears. Example, the horse was running fast, but I was able to control it in the end.
Yes. And so that we don't confuse the students,
Yes.
actually was able to and could are very close to each other, and not to be confused.
Yes.
But here just we are clarifying
Yes.
when it is just one situation. For example, I have an exercise.
Yes.
It is very difficult, but in the end,
I was
I
able
was
to
able.
do it.
Yes.
But when we talk about ability in general,
Yes.
we
Could.
use
Could.
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 Can we move next, sir? Next, please. This is Miss Abir's turn. Should,
Now,
must,
should,
and
must,
have
and
to.
have to. Must
And-
is used with someone who has authority. So, or it means power. A father to his child, a teacher to his student, or a doctor to his patient.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And the British people feel angry when you say you must and
Yeah.
you don't have authority on them.
Yeah.
Yes. So must is used only
When you
with
have-
someone who has control or authority
yeah.
on someone.
And the example
Same
is
meaning
yeah,
like have
yeah,
to.
yeah.
But must means the person has authority.
Authority.
Father
And a
to
father
his
to
child.
his son, you must be home home or at home before 10.
You must be home
Yeah.
before 10.
10.
Yes. Now have to, Miss Huda.
Yes, is used to tell someone's order or for a public law. Example, I have to be home before 10. You
So this is the son
Yeah.
Yes.
who
to-
re-says his father's
Yes.
must.
Yes.
He says,
I have to be home before 10. You have to wear a uniform.
This is as a teacher, I can ask my student just to wear a uniform.
because it is a public law,
Law.
Yes.
because
Yeah.
the rule of the school
Yes.
Yes.
obliges
They have to.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not
Exactly.
our order,
Yes.
Yes.
so we cannot say you must. Sometimes we use must to give a strong advice.
Yes.
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 For example, I saw a nice film yesterday.
You must
You
watch
must
it.
watch it. Here it's not an order, not
Yeah.
obligation.
Yes.
It's a strong
Just
advice,
strong advice.
and you can advise yourself.
Yeah,
Yes.
I must go
Yes,
now.
I must
I am
watch it.
late.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Miss Faizi.
Now, should is used to give advice. Example, you should go to bed early. You shouldn't smoke.
Yes.
Thank you. So the
Now,
first
the
two.
addressee may accept my advice
Or
Maybe not.
no, so it's not
Yeah.
obligatory.
No, it's not
While
obligatory.
in the first two, it's obligatory.
Yeah.
Yes.
So have to and must are for obligation.
Yeah.
Should is for
For
advice.
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 Yes.
Reported speech. Here, let's explain in details more than what we have on the screen.
Yes.
Miss Hanadi,
Yes.
I think you would like to explain.
Yes. Reported speech. We have, for example, direct sentence.
Mhm.
So students have to know who is the speaker. For example, let's say Huda. Huda say something. For example, I go to the park. Here we look at the verb. At the verb here we have present simple go. Then we have to start our sentence with something after Huda. We say Huda said, or maybe Huda told
Someone.
Yes.
So the difference between sent and told is
there is a speaker after told, or
Told,
maybe
we have an
object
object.
pronoun.
Object.
Object
so we
pronoun.
cannot say Huda told and stuff.
No.
Huda told
Yes.
someone.
Yeah.
Someone.
Yes.
Yes. And then we change the pronoun. Here we have I, and the speaker is a girl, so we transform it into she.
Yes.
Then we change the verb
For
go,
example?
which is present simple, it becomes past simple. She went to the park. We complete the sentence, there is no change. Okay?
Yeah.
So
Good.
in general, we do changes on the pronouns, on the verbs, and maybe if we have time and place references. Okay.
Yeah, good. And here, Miss Huda, do we change the tense or we keep the same
No,
tense
no,
when we
changes.
report? We
Of
change.
course.
Yes.
Present simple
Because the
past simple,
introductory is he said.
he
Yes.
said,
But
yes.
if we say he says,
Yes.
we don't change.
It's another
But
change.
in the
Yes.
90th grade book,
Yes.
we have only he said
Said.
or he told.
Yes,
So we go
Yes.
one tense
Yes.
back.
Bad.
Yeah, we
So
don't see after he said or he told present simple.
Yes.
Or
Yeah, of
present
course.
any present
Of course,
tenses.
yes.
So we
Always
have to
past.
use past.
Yes.
Actually, not for the grade 9.
Yeah.
Sometimes we report the question exactly as it is said by the speaker, but we put two
Yeah.
inverted commas,
Yes.
quotation
Yes.
marks.
Yes.
But this is not for the
Yeah,
grade
not
9.
for nine.
Yes.
For grade 9, they need to go one tense back. The
Back.
Yes.
present becomes
Present
past.
simple.
Past
If it is
simple.
past
Present
continuous,
continuous.
yes,
Past
Continuous.
Thank you.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. So we go in the reported sentences, one tense back,
Yes.
the present becomes past.
Yes.
Direct, we have an
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I'm hungry
He said he
Yes.
was hungry.
Yes.
Who can give us other exercises or other examples?
I'm happy.
I'm happy.
Can report it, Abir.
Yeah.
Yes.
She said she was happy.
Yes, I
Yeah.
am happy becomes
Yeah.
she was happy.
She was happy.
We move to what Miss
Sure.
Hanadi was telling us about the change.
Yes.
The pronoun
Yes.
I
I
becomes he or she.
According to the speaker.
And this is given, actually, this
Yeah.
is given in the exercise.
Yes, of course.
The student doesn't need to think about it because
Yes.
we start the sentence with he
Yes.
or she,
Or
it is
she.
given.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the possessive pronouns. When I say, my name
Yes.
is Huda,
Yes.
we say, Huda said.
That.
Mine
Her
becomes
name.
her.
Her name.
Her name was
Yeah.
Huda.
Yes.
So the possessive pronoun changes according to the speaker
Speaker.
in the
Yes.
introduction.
Speaker. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Ms. Sanadi, you want to add something?
No.
So we have everything near becomes
Yeah.
Far.
Far.
far. Everything
This,
near.
that.
Becomes
Yes.
Today,
So when we
that
say
day.
Yes.
this, it becomes
That.
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 For example,
Here
here,
becomes there.
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 When we say we were here, or I am here now,
No.
but I will go to university.
He said
He said
he was
he
there.
He was
there.
there,
And
but
he goes
he
he
will
went
go
Yeah.
to the university.
university.
Yes.
When we say this,
Yes.
give me this book, this is another case.
Yeah.
He asked me to give him
Yeah.
that book. So
That
this.
book.
This week
Yes.
becomes
That week.
that week.
Yes.
Today, that day.
Today becomes
That
that day.
day.
Sorry, if we have after this time, we transform it into that. But if we don't have a time expression, we put that.
Give us example.
Yes. For example, I go to this place.
Mhm.
Place. It became she went to that place.
Yeah.
To the place. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this becomes that.
Yes,
Today
that.
becomes that day. Tomorrow, Miss Huda.
Tomorrow becomes the next day. Yesterday, the day before.
Yes. Can we say the previous day?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why
We
not?
can.
Yeah. It's correct.
Now we come to the grammar of too much, too many, too alone, more, and
enough.
enough. Miss Faizi,
Okay.
please.
Now, about too much, we use it with uncountable nouns, meaning more than, okay. There is too much mud, for example, in the street.
Yes.
Okay?
So-
Too much with uncountable nouns. There is too much water here.
Yeah.
Okay? So it is more than it is needed or
Yeah,
required.
so the use of too means more than okay.
More
yes,
than
thank
okay,
you.
yeah.
And is it used with countable or
It is
uncountable
used
nouns?
with uncountable nouns.
Too much with uncountable nouns. So the verb follows is
Singular. Singular, yeah.
we say there is
Yes.
too
There
much
is.
mud. There
Yeah.
is too much water.
Noise,
There
pollution.
is too much. So too much is uncountable,
Yeah.
Yes.
and a singular verb is accompanied. Miss Abir.
Yeah. We
Too
use
many?
too many with countable nouns, meaning more than, okay. It is with the plural countable noun.
Yes, because many,
Many
is
is used
for
with the plural. Yeah.
and with countable.
Yeah.
So when we use too many, the verb should be
Plural.
plural.
Yeah.
Too,
For
Means-
example, you can say there are too many cars in the street.
yes,
Yes.
there are too many cars in the
Yeah.
street. There are too many people.
People in the
And
street.
when we say too many means we don't like it.
Yeah, we
It's
don't
negative.
It's
It is
negative.
a negative.
Yeah. More
This is
than
the
okay.
point.
Yeah, this is the point.
Yes,
So we
yes.
explain the word too.
Too means very in a negative way.
Yeah.
The hot is too with
The
weather
weather
is too
is
hot
too
Yeah.
hot.
today.
Yes.
It means I'm not
Yeah.
comfortable
Yeah.
Yes.
with it.
So when the meaning is positive, we use very or so.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when someone wants to flirt another one, if he says you are too beautiful,
Yeah.
it's
With
not
the
a
contrary.
flirt, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
When we say you are too smart,
Yeah.
it means the person is
Not
stupid.
smart at all.
Yeah.
So we don't advise the students to
just
use
use
too with positive adjectives.
Just one point, Mr.
Yes,
Majid.
please.
Some students get confused about countable and uncountable nouns.
Yes.
Some students think that countable nouns that we can count 1, 2, 3, etc. And for example, rice, they can count. Okay? And they can lentil, for example, they can count. But what about countable and uncountable nouns? Uncountable nouns, those nouns which do not have plural form.
Yes.
Okay?
Can't be counted.
So rices, it is not correct.
Yeah.
But although we can count, okay,
Yeah.
rice, but it is uncountable since we cannot put a plural form for this one.
Yeah.
So this is the countable and uncountable
Sometimes
noun.
you remind me
And
with the
money,
word.
about money. We can count money, but we can't say
Yes.
monies.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, in money, the thing that we count is the note. Dollar, pound,
Yes.
Yeah, of
the
course.
pound,
Coins.
dollar. So we
Yeah.
count the dollar, not the money. The
Yeah,
money
of
is
course.
uncountable. But how about sand?
Mm.
If we have just 3 or 4 parts of sand, we can say sands on the table. But when we say in the desert,
Yes.
Okay.
it's uncountable,
Uncountable.
and the verb should follow is singular,
Singular.
of course. We come to enough. This is very important because enough is used with adjectives and with nouns. But the position is different. Miss Huda,
Yes,
can you tell us the difference between when it is after, when it is before?
really we use enough for positive and negative meaning too. For example, this room is too wide. It is not narrow enough, or it's too narrow. It's not wide enough. This is it has negative meaning here.
So it comes after the adjective.
After the adjective, exactly.
Wide enough.
Wide enough, yes.
It is not wide enough.
Yeah.
We don't have enough chairs is another example for
Yes.
the noun.
For the noun,
So
yes.
the
Before
noun
the noun.
comes
Before.
after enough,
Yeah.
but the adjectives comes before the noun.
The noun.
So enough is in the position. We can help the student to write adjective, enough now.
Yes.
So enough is in the middle.
Yes.
After the adjective, but before the noun.
Yes.
We don't have enough chairs,
Yes.
or we have enough chairs in the
Chairs,
positive and the negative, as you
Yes.
said.
Yes.
Yes. We move to more.
Yes.
What do we mean by more? We use more for another amount or quantity. For example, I drank some coffee. I want
More.
Larger quantity.
We need more bread
Yeah.
for the picnic.
Yes.
I'm going now to move. It's okay. Let me just move. It's okay. We're going now to explain the some or
And many.
And many.
Many. Yes. Let's start with a. When do we use a?
Okay. We use a
Mm-hmm.
with singular a and an. They are
Both a and an. Difference between them?
Indefinite articles. Okay.
Yes.
So we use them with singular, countable, indefinite nouns.
Yes.
Of which there are more than one, and mentioned for the first time. There is a book on the table.
Yes. Let's explain this one by one as you started. A and an with singular nouns. A with consonant.
Yes.
Consonant letters.
Letters.
Okay.
And an
With vowels.
with vowels.
Okay.
So the noun should be singular, not plural.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because with plural we don't use a or an.
A book.
And countable.
Yes.
So can we say a water?
Of course not.
No, because uncountable nouns we don't use a or an. Indefinite, what do we mean by indefinite? Is it known or not
It is
known?
not known.
Not
It is
known,
known.
not
Yeah.
clear, so
It's
it should
not
be not
mentioned.
clear,
Yes.
because when it is clear we use the.
Yeah, of course.
We say of which there are more than one, because when we have only one, as we will see later with the, we use the.
Yeah.
And it should be mentioned for the first time, because when it is
It's mentioned
mentioned
for the second
time,
time,
we
we use
use
them.
we use the. So we summarize singular, countable, indefinite nouns
Yes.
mentioned for the first time, and
Yes.
there are more than one of it. Now we move to Miss Huda.
Yes.
To
With a noun of which there is only one.
this is the.
Yes.
We use the
Yes.
as a hint if the student doesn't know all the rules. If the
Yes.
listener and the speaker both know
Yeah.
the thing talking about,
Yes.
that is
Can
okay.
use that.
Yes.
But if the listener will say which one, so
So
that is not correct.
Yes.
So when I say, I saw the man, what will you say?
Yeah. Which man?
Which man?
Which man?
So the here is not correct.
Yes.
But when I say I
Close the
saw
door.
the man who gave me the
Yes.
money,
Yeah.
It's identified.
now I
Yeah.
made it clear to the listener.
Yes.
Exactly.
So when it is clear to the listener, the thing talking about, we use that.
Yes.
Okay. Miss Hanadi,
Yes. With a noun, you did it.
with she read with a
Yes.
noun of which there is
Yes.
only one.
One.
Yes.
Let's clarify it. One in the universe, for example,
Yes. The moon.
the moon.
The
We
sun.
have
The
only
sun.
one moon, the sun.
Yes.
Or in a country,
Yes.
the president.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every country has one
Yes.
president.
One president.
Or
Yes.
in the place.
Yes.
Oh, the door.
Yes.
The door,
The
Yes.
if we
Yeah.
have just one door,
Yeah.
but if we have more than a door
Yeah.
for a room,
Yeah.
we
Yes.
cannot.
We can't use it.
In the classroom, how many teachers?
When?
One teacher.
One teacher.
Yes.
And how many boards?
Yes. One.
One board.
One board.
One
So
board.
when the
Yes.
teacher says go to the board,
Yeah.
Yes. It
Here.
means one.
the student will not say which
Which
board.
board?
Yes.
But if he says put it on the desk,
Yeah.
Yes. Which
There are
desk?
which desk?
which
Yes.
desk?
There are many choices.
Yes.
Yes.
So when there is only one, this is the first use of the following use, Miss Hanadi.
Yes. When a noun is mentioned a second time. For example, I have a car.
Yes.
The car is red.
Thank you. So the
Here
first
we mention
time
it for the second time.
I have a car, you
Yes.
cannot say I have the car
Yes. Of course.
because the listener does not know
Yes.
which
Yes.
car you are talking about. But
course.
here you mention it the first time.
Yes.
We have more than one car in the world,
Yes.
and it is not known
Yes.
for the listener.
Yes.
I have a car. When you mention it a second time,
You have
Yes.
the car is
Red.
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 Thank you, Miss Faizi. The following one.
Now with musical instruments after the verb play. Okay?
Okay.
I play the oud, I play the guitar, I play
Play
the
the
violin,
violin, and
etc.
so
So the instruments.
Yes, so always after the
proceeded
verb
with
play
Yes.
with instruments,
Yeah.
use the. Play the guitar, play the piano.
Yeah.
Yes.
Miss Abir,
Yeah. We use some with the plural nouns and uncountable nouns. So some is used with the plural or
And
uncountable
uncountable
nouns.
nouns.
It isn't used with the singular nouns.
because in the singular we
Yeah.
say a or
or
an in the three
Yeah.
cases, in the
Yes.
positive and in the question and in the question, negative and positive. With the three
Example, I
cases.
have some questions. I like, some apples.
There is some water.
Yeah, there is
Yes.
some
Yes.
water
Some
with
water.
uncountable nouns.
Yes.
Yes.
Some people,
Some people.
some water
Yeah.
Yes.
with countable and uncountable. Yes, please, the following one. All.
Yes.
What do we mean by all, Miss Huda?
Yes.
It means
Every.
every.
Yes. We use all to mean every with countable and uncountable nouns.
Yes, it is used both countable and uncountable.
We can
Difference is in the verb.
Yeah.
Yes.
With countable nouns, we use
Yes.
plural.
Plural.
Yes.
With uncountable
Countable
nouns, we
With
use
plural countable nouns, we use plural.
plural verb.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean by plural verb, are, not is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when it is simple present, the plural verb is come, not comes.
Yes.
Yes.
Comes is the singular one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Example, all the houses in our street are old-fashioned.
This is countable.
Yes.
Houses are countable,
Yeah.
so it is are old-fashioned.
Yes. All transport on the island is provided by horses and carts.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Transport here
Is uncountable.
so
Yes.
the verb followed is. Thank you.
Yes.
Miss Hanadi, many.
We use many with plural countable nouns. For example, many people move to the city from the countryside to work.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can we move to the following one, sir? The following one. Present perfect tense. Let's explain the present perfect tense. Miss Abir, the first case.
Now here we have affirmative form, subject, have or has, then verb 3 and then complement.
Complement. So S means subject, have or has, verb 3 is past participle.
Example,
and the
I
complement.
have just eaten lunch. Here the subject is I. Have just eaten. Eaten is verb 3 from the verb eat.
Yes.
So have goes with the pronouns, Miss Huda.
I, you, we, they.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
And
has with the
has.
pronouns he, she, it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Miss Hanadi, the second example, she has.
She has almost finished cleaning the house.
Okay. So the first case is we use the subject
Yeah.
with have or has. Miss
Yes.
Huda said I. with I, you, he, I, you, we, they have, he, she, it has. Miss Faizi, the question form.
Now with the question form, have or has plus subject plus verb 3 and complement, and we won't forget the question mark.
Yes, of course.
Have you eaten lunch yet?
Mm-hmm.
Has he written a letter?
So usually we use yet in the question with the present perfect.
Okay, it is okay if you do not use yet.
But
okay?
for the student, yes, you are very right. But
It's
an indication.
an indicator.
indicator.
Yes.
Keyword.
Yeah.
Because in the exam, when the student sees yet, it tells him.
Think of present perfect.
Yeah, the present perfect.
Or maybe it will be a missing word.
Yes.
Maybe.
Missing
Maybe.
word.
Yes.
In present
It can
perfect
come.
and the missing word at the end
At
of
the
the
end.
question
Or
or the
choose.
negative.
Choice.
So it is one of the indicators,
Yes.
as Ms.
Yes.
Abi says in
Yes.
the exam, when the student sees yet,
Yes.
it means to choose the present perfect.
Yes.
The negative form, Ms. Huda.
Yes, subject have or has plus not plus verb 3 plus the complement.
Mm-hmm.
Example, I haven't done my homework yet. She has never played tennis.
So we used yet again here in the negative.
Negative.
It is used in the negative
And
as
in
well
question.
as in
Yes.
the question. Yes.
And never is used here with the negative
Negative.
to make the
Meaning.
sentence.
So we can make negative
With
using
never.
instead of not.
Yes.
Here we have haven't is the contraction of have not and hasn't for has not.
Yes.
1 point, just
Yes,
1 point.
please.
Here we do not have to have an auxiliary helping verb.
Yes.
Since we have and has,
Has.
the student can have it as an auxiliary, it is auxiliary verb and write it up. After the WH question word, okay?
Yes, thank you. So we always say the only two tenses that we need to bring an auxiliary from outside are
Present simple and
present
past
simple
simple.
and past simple.
Yeah.
Present simple do and
Do or
does,
does.
and
Did.
did for the past simple.
Yeah.
All the other tenses are easy to make a question because we invert the
We have them
existing
already. Yeah.
Yes.
auxiliary verb to make a question. The use, Miss Hanadi, will you please read the use of the
Yes.
present perfect tense?
Yes. When an action happened in the past, the exact time is not mentioned, and we talk about it now, or we see the result now.
Yes. So we have first that the action is in the past,
Yes.
before
Yes.
now.
Yes.
The time is not known,
mentioned,
but
yeah.
there should be a
Yes.
connection
Yes.
Yes.
with the present.
Yes.
For example, if we are talking about Shakespeare,
Yeah.
we cannot use
Use
present perfect.
Of course.
Yes.
We cannot say Shakespeare has written.
No.
Even if we don't have time reference, it should be past
Past simple.
because he is dead.
Yes.
There must be a connection. For example, if we look at the door, it is painted now.
Yes.
We say somebody
Has.
Has painted it.
has painted it. The
Yes.
result,
The result
is clear.
Yes.
Okay. Miss Huda,
Yes.
read the examples.
Somebody has painted the door. Yeah.
Mhm.
In this case, we use already, just, yet. They are the indicators.
Yes.
Present perfect. Example, I have just eaten lunch.
Mhm.
My father hasn't come yet. Has your father come yet? I have already written an email.
So the importance of just, yet, and already are hints, indicators to the
Indicators.
student
Present
Students.
perfect.
to know that we want
That these
the
Present
present
perfect.
perfect when we see this.
Yeah.
Okay. We move to the difference now. We have a question in the book in
Yes.
the grade 9, how to differentiate between present perfect and past simple. What is the difference, Miss Huda?
past simple, the indicator is known. It's necessary.
The time
It's
is
time.
mentioned.
It's
mentioned,
yes.
The time is clear.
Yes.
We know what time it happened. For example, we have yesterday.
Yes.
Last
Last
Last-
week, for
I drank
example.
coffee an
time.
hour ago.
Yes.
Last yesterday
Yes.
and ago.
But in the present perfect,
We don't
We don't
mention the
know.
time. I
But-
forgot my
but
finger.
what is mutual? They both happened
In the
In the
past.
past.
in the past,
Yes.
before now.
For now.
For now.
We move to the following one. Let me help. Past perfect tense, Miss Faizi is going to. Now,
Yes.
Miss Faizi, please start.
Now, the past perfect tense, we have the affirmative form, we have subject, had, verb 3, and the complement.
Yes.
So here we have had, not have, or has, because it is in the past.
Is it with all
Yeah,
pronouns?
it is with all
Yes, with
pronouns,
all
the
Good,
same
with all
verb.
pronouns. I had, he had.
Yeah, she had, they had, we had, etc.
Yes.
I had eaten breakfast before I went to school. Here we have two verbs.
Yes.
The first one is
Two
had.
actions, yes.
Yeah, sorry, two actions. The first one had eaten, and the second one is
Went
went.
to
So
school.
the first one happened
Is in
Before the
past
second.
perfect.
before the second. It is in the past perfect. So I
Perfect.
ate, then I went to
Yes.
school.
Yes. Miss Abir,
Yeah.
tell us
Now,
about the
The
question.
question form here we have to start with had, then subject, then verb 3, and then complement. Had he eaten breakfast before he went to school? This is the example.
Yes. Actually, the past perfect does not come alone.
No.
Usually, we have two actions in the
Yes.
past. We use it to show which one
Happened
happened first.
The first
So,
one past perfect, the second
no
one
difference between the simple past and the past perfect.
Yes.
They are the same. Just to show which one happened first,
Yes.
we use
The
past
change is
perfect.
in order, only in order.
Yes.
Yes. Sometimes when it is clear because we have before,
Yes.
Yeah.
after,
Yes.
we
Yes.
can use
Yes.
in both sides the simple past. The negative, Miss Hanadi.
Subject plus had plus not and verb 3 and then the complement. For example, I hadn't eaten breakfast before I went to school.
Yeah.
Before I went to school, I hadn't eaten
Yes.
breakfast before I went to school. We just put not
Yes.
when
After
we
had.
have after
had.
auxiliary.
Yes.
Now we tell the students about the use. The main use, as we said, Miss Hanadi.
When we talk about two actions in the past, we with a period of time between them, we put that happened first in the past perfect tense and that happened second in simple past tense. For example, I had eaten breakfast before I went to school. So the first action had eaten, the second one went.
Mhm. Yes. So the main purpose
Yes.
of using the past perfect is to show which happened first.
Which happened first, not the order of the verbs in
Yes.
that sentence.
Yes,
Yes.
of
So
course.
some students depend on the order of the
Yes.
verbs.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
That's
This is the
right.
first
That's
one.
right.
For example, I can say I went to school.
Yes.
Okay. After I had
Yeah.
Breakfast.
my
Yes.
breakfast.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much for saying this.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have what happened first at the beginning.
Yes.
So it's not the order, as
Yeah.
Ms. Faye says.
Of course.
I went to school after I had
eaten
eaten
my
breakfast
Yes.
or lunch or yes. Now we come to relative pronouns.
Yeah.
Who and
We have
Who and which.
and which. Miss Huda?
Yes, we use who and which as relative pronouns. Who with people, which with things. When we talk about things, we use which. When we talk about people, we use who.
Yes.
This is the story, or this is the film I watched yesterday.
Yes.
Film which?
Which.
Okay.
Which.
This is the man who I met.
Yes.
Yeah, yesterday. etc.
My brother, who is a doctor.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Actually, the grammar after that is about will.
Yes.
Let's talk about will and shall.
Yes.
Which pronouns take shall?
I and we.
I and we. And this was in the past. But
Yeah.
now we
Yes.
can use will
With all pronouns.
The all pronouns.
except in some cases not for grade 9 when we say I want to open the door, shall I? This is something different.
Or
But for the students, I shall, and it is followed
Yes.
with simple form of the verb.
Yes.
I shall go or I will go.
Yes.
Now, let's explain in some minutes
Yes.
difference between will and going to.
Yes.
We use them both for intention and prediction.
Yes.
Let's
Talk
start
about
with
future.
for the future.
Yes.
Before we go about the use, let's give examples about I will, he will, she will, or I can say I shall, he will, she will, it will, we shall.
Yeah.
But as we said, now how do we form the question? We invert. We say will you?
Yeah.
The negative
Won't.
won't. Going to is the same. I am, Going to?
I am not going to.
I am not going
I am not
to.
to the verb to be.
Am I going to in the
Yes,
question?
not to the verb to be.
And with you? Are you?
Are you?
And
Going
with
to.
he, she?
Is.
So the difference is in verb to be.
Yes.
Now let's go.
Excuse me. So, Majid, there is no difference between shall and will.
No. But
The
in the
form.
past, maybe 50 or 60 years ago, in the British English, they only used shall and shall with I and we, and will with the other pronouns. Nowadays, will is used with all pronouns.
But
It's
shall
okay.
only, it's still with I and we.
Yes.
We can use will with all pronouns, but we can't use the shall with all pronouns.
Yes, but sometimes to
Sometimes.
give emphasis.
Yes.
For example, I can say you shall pay.
Mm.
To give emphasis, but it's not for grade
Yes.
9.
Yes.
Not
That's
for
why we are ignoring.
Yes.
We're not
Yes.
going now to confuse them in the end of
Yes.
the webinar. Let's be as simple as possible. The main uses for will and going to is for prediction and intention.
Intention.
For prediction, if we see something that tells us about the future, we use going to.
Going to. It's
Example,
cloudy.
it's
I think
cloudy.
going to rain.
Yes.
He is a very good student. He is going to study math,
Yes.
for example, or study
Oh,
medicine.
yes.
So we
etc.
see something. If
There is a
someone,
proof.
nowadays, a lot of people use their mobiles while walking in the street.
Yes.
If there is a hole,
No.
He is going to
He's
fail.
he's
going
going
to
to
fall.
fall
Fall.
in the
Fall.
hole.
In the hole.
If two cars are moving fast and both
They
are
are-
looking in other
They are going to
direction,
crash.
they're going to crash.
Yes.
So when we see an evidence, when we see
Evidence,
something that
yes.
tells us
He's
about the
going to.
future, we use going
Going
to.
to.
When we think,
Yes.
we don't see, we think. From our mind, we use will.
Prediction.
Example,
Yes.
everyone will have a plane after 50 years.
No.
Just I think. Sometimes both are accepted, but this is not for grade 9, like
Yes.
what Ms. Faize said about the smart student. We can say, I see that he is smart, so he is going to be a doctor, or he will
Will
because
be.
I think.
Yes.
Will be a doctor.
So, when in the exam or in the books, when the one who authored the book wants the student to choose will is accompanied for prediction with I think,
Yes.
I guess, I'm sure,
In my
I
opinion.
believe. Yes, and we use will with the
Quick and
conditional.
fast decision. For example, somebody is at the
This
door.
is for
I will.
yeah, for
I
intention.
will
We're going to
open.
talk about
Yes.
it.
It's in
We're
the-
going to talk about it. Now for prediction,
Yes.
we use again will with the first conditional.
Yes.
But in first conditional, both are accepted, going to and
And
will.
will.
But more commonly,
Yes.
it is will.
Will.
We come to intention.
Yes.
Intention.
Intention, we use will and going to with difference. If the decision is made at the moment of speaking,
Yes.
we use will, like what you said.
Yes.
Somebody is knocking at the door
I will
now.
open the door.
Yes.
Yes.
You say, I will open, and it's clear from the first sentence,
Yes.
somebody. The phone is ringing,
I will answer.
I will answer.
I will answer.
I dropped my pen.
I'll pick it.
I will
I
get
will.
it.
Yes.
When I say, oh, I don't have money,
Yes.
I will pay.
I will
pay
lend
for
you.
you.
Yes.
I will pay. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. You're more generous.
You are
than
welcome.
She will lend
Yeah.
me, and she will give me. I prefer actually a beer.
Yeah.
This is clear. So
Yes.
when it is
Yes.
made at the moment of the speaking,
Yes.
the sentence tells the phone is ringing. I dropped my pen. I don't have money. If the intention is made or was made before the time of speaking, we use going
Going
to.
to. You think. You
Yes.
plan for something.
Yes.
So
Planning.
Let's give one example of both cases.
Yes.
If I feel hungry now, I say
I will eat.
I will make a sandwich.
Yes.
I'm hungry, I will make a sandwich. If I go to the kitchen and someone there sees me and says, what do you want? What do I say?
Going to.
Yes.
I'm going to make a sandwich because there I'm telling about something I decided
Decided
before.
before.
About
Now,
my plan.
if I see my neighbor wearing old clothes, carrying a bucket of water, what does he say? I will wash or I'm going?
Oh, he's going to.
I'm going to wash the
the
car because he took the decision before
Yes.
and
He
he
prepared
changed,
everything.
he changed his clothes and he's ready now. If someone went to the market, bought cucumbers, tomatoes, washed them, put them on the table, and I'm asking him or her, what do you want to do? What does he say?
I'm going to
I'm going
make
to-
I'm
salad.
going to
Salad.
make a salad
Yes.
because the decision is clear, not
Yeah.
now, because
Yes.
he went to the shops,
Yes.
bought the cucumber, bought the tomatoes, washed them. So
Decided.
he is talking about something planned before. So to talk about something planned before, we use
Be going to.
be going to,
Can we
and
say, Mr. Ahmed, can we say that this law related to the rule that say we can use present continuous to express to the near future?
thank you so much for saying this. This is, yes, correct, very correct. This is not for grade 9, but since you aroused it, we are going to talk about it. Sometimes we can use the present continuous instead of the future when we have arrangement.
Yes.
Arrangement. Like what? If I'm going to visit my aunt who lives in Homs, for example, next month, I say I'm going to visit my aunt next month. But if I phoned her and she knew about my visit, so
I'm visiting.
I arranged with her, I can say I'm visiting my aunt next month. It's one of the uses of the future, yes, but here for the grade 9, it's just going to or will for prediction and for intention. I want just to give a hint to our dear students. Not all students have the same edition of the book. So they may say, what if a question came from the other edition? What if a question in the exam came from the other edition? For example, some students have the old edition, other schools have the new edition.
Yes.
So what is going to happen? We want to comfort them that in the exam this year, the questions are going to be only from the mutual issues. So all students must know about the thing we are asking, or else it will not come in the exam. And I'm just saying this to comfort the students. Exam questions are be from the mutual things. Following next year, this may change, but for the time being, feel comfortable, don't worry. You will know every sentence and every text in the book. Now let's move to the following grammar, which is about time phrases. We use sometimes time phrases with the simple present, but sometimes we may give a hint of the future. They are as soon as, when, until, before, and after. As soon as is usually followed with future, but present simple goes with as soon as. For example, as soon as I arrive, I will call you. As soon as I arrive, I will call you. When, again, it comes with a simple present. Not only with a simple present. See, we are
Maybe
just
with past,
giving
yes.
a quick hint. It can come with the past.
Yes.
And the simple present, when it comes with the simple present, we use again future. When I come, I will call you.
When I see you, I will tell you.
When I see you, I will tell you. Until again can be used with the simple present and with the future. I will stay here
Until it stops raining.
until
It stops raining.
raining. Yeah, until you come. Then we have before and we have after. Actually, before and after are two contrary adverbs. For example, before I come, you will need to prepare everything for the talk. So you will need is a future, and before I come is the simple present. It can be used in the past as well. he stayed or he left before I came or I had come.
It's a balance of tension.
Yes, so from a meaning, we can know as students which one to choose. It is not very complicated.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the end of our webinar, dear students, I hope you have got benefit because time is finished now. But before we leave, we hope and we wish all the students easy exam and to be able to answer it. And I want to thank my colleagues here in the studio, Ms. Abir Al-Hassan, teacher in Damascus Countryside Directorate, Ms. Huda Ibrahim, teacher from Damascus Directorate, Ms. Faizi Janko, supervisor of English, Damascus Countryside Directorate, and Ms. Hanadi Salha, teacher in Damascus Countryside Directorate, and me, Abdul Majid Overly, coordinator of the English curriculum in the National Center of the Curricular Development. Thank you very much and good chance.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you.